Alright, so earlier this week I had an incident down here in my pond room. I came out here getting ready for work and I noticed that my pond was much lower than I usually keep it. And it was much lower than it was the day before. So obviously that water had to go somewhere, so it ended up on the floor. I came over here to try to figure out where it was coming from. The water started here and went all the way into that corner there. Luckily none of it really crept out into this space or over there. So that's good, but you know, the first step in cleaning it up was to basically come over here and try to find the source of the leak. So what I did first was I checked this whole assembly here, all the fittings here, over there, and then I started checking the lid. If I ever had problems before, it was because I didn't properly seal that lid, and so there were some drips of water coming down there, and I thought, well, maybe the pressure got to it. You know, over time, because it had been a couple months since I actually serviced this thing. That was not the case. Actually, it was something crazier. I never would have thought this would be a problem, but I guess it was. What happened was the thing actually burst out the side. There was water spraying out onto the side of the pond and all over the floor, all through this little 1.5 inch crack on the side of the barrel here. On the side of the barrel, which is crazy. You would think that the lid would be the weakest point, but no. It was the side of the barrel, at least on this one. And I'll get to that in a second, but if you'll notice, you know, this is an indentation in the barrel, and if you look through the side, you can kind of see just where the light is here. You know, you can see that the plastic is thinner there. I overlooked that when I was building this filter, and you know, even if I did see it, I probably wouldn't have thought it would be a problem. But you can see definitely on this side it's much worse, and there's actually another crack forming right here. But, you know, I figured, well, I should probably make a video about this because the last video I made on these filters, it's probably one of my most popular videos on my channel so far. A lot of people watched it, and a lot of people were interested in actually building it themselves. So I kind of feel like I'm obligated to make this video to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. In addition to that, I feel like I'm kind of obligated to present a fix for it. So I went and searched around. I thought at first, well, maybe I could use some sort of tape, like flex tape or something, or pond seam tape. Flex tape is bad for your aquariums, by the way. I didn't know that until just now. It's toxic to fish and whatnot. But I thought, well, I could use that and tape around the edges where the walls might be thinner and those indentations. But as I was doing that, I actually bought the tape and was doing it, fixing this thing. I realized that the barrels over there, not as much light comes through them as this one over here. So I got this big flashlight right here, and I actually went around the edge of this thing. Notice how much light is coming in through the walls of this barrel right here. See, it gets really bad right there, and really bad right over here. You can actually see that crack right now, or the crack now. But go around the walls of this thing, there's a lot of light coming through there. It means the walls are very thin on that barrel. Now if we come over to these barrels, and I shine the light through these ones, take the lid off, you will actually notice, look how much light is coming through here. It's being held the same distance away as the other one. It kind of looks like the same, but I promise you, when it's not on, it's mostly the camera picking it up, but there is very, very little light coming through this thing right now. You know, you can obviously see around the indentations, there's, you know, it's a little thinner, but that's to be expected, obviously. But even at the thinnest points, this thing is still way thicker than the barrel I had over there, even at those little indentation points. So I don't know why that is, but that's definitely the problem. And if you're going to look into building one of these filters, as I know many people have done, I would definitely recommend you get a big flashlight like that and test to see how thick the walls of the barrel are, because clearly that makes a difference. That thing had been set up for a while now, and I believe it was just the long-term stress of having that amount of pressure in there. I'm using a 2,000 gallon per hour pump on it. It was pumping roughly, I believe, 1,400 to 1,800 gallons per hour through it, though. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done the math, but if I had to guess, that's what it would be. So there was quite a bit of pressure going through this thing, you know, when it burst. This one, on the other hand, I had set up for, you know, a year and a half, or close to a year and a half when I took it down and replaced it with that other one. So obviously I know that this is going to work much better. It's, you know, it lasted twice as long, and I hadn't had any problems like that at all. Another thing that could have caused this is the intake and output on this filter, you know, they're the same size. That would be fine normally. However, it's not recommended. It's just it will work as long as the output is not smaller than the input. It will be just fine. But you know, in this case, I recommend going with a larger tube. That's why I'm switching to a 1-inch tube for the output, as opposed to the 3/4-inch tube on the you know, output before. So I got some larger fittings here. I got some barb fittings on 1 1/4-inch pipe that I'm going to attach to the bulkhead and put back in here. That's actually what I'm doing now. But yeah, I did find the other fix, the tape method. I feel like it would work. So if you were still wary about putting this thing, filling it with water without, you know, doing anything to it first, you could go get some tape. I'll leave a link to the seam tape that I used, or was in the middle of using, down below in the description. And yeah, anyway, that's about it. If you found this video useful, leave a like and consider subscribing. See ya.